Thousands of teachers are gathering across New South Wales and in Sydney's CBD over the next hour as they strike over pay and staff shortages. Kenny Heatley is live in Sydney for us. Kenny, we wouldn't expect you to be anywhere else today. No classes today, though.
Yes, no, and look, we're already seeing hundreds of teachers gather for this rally, which is going to be taking place over the next couple of hours. They're meeting here now, and over the next hour, they'll gather in numbers and then march down Macquarie Street to Parliament House, where they'll make their voices heard until about 11 o'clock. What they're unhappy with is what was delivered in the budget, with 3.5% on an annual basis in terms of a pay rise over the next couple of years. But they say that there is nothing in the budget that addresses their concerns about the staff shortages and workloads that they have at the moment, which they say is causing a deteriorating standard in the classroom. So no classrooms today for students. Either schools are shut or they're operating under very limited supervision services at the moment. Now, Sarah Mitchell, the Education Minister, she has said that these strikes are politically motivated. There's an election coming up in March next year, and she says they're striking because it's a coalition government. But let's hear a bit more of what she had to say on Morning TV today.
The main concern for today is, as you said, the massive disruption that today causes for students and parents. It's the last day of the financial year. It's really tough for mums and dads who run their own small business to now have their children at home. So I'm just disappointed that this industrial action is happening. We're continuing to negotiate and work in good faith with the union bosses, and it's really frustrating that they're still pressing ahead with this strike today.
We have a crisis in our classrooms. Kids are missing out every single day. Sarah Mitchell also said that she wants kids in classrooms. Well, it's not happening. For as long as the government denies the facts, we've got a responsibility to act. This is about kids.
Those transport strikes continue as well. The Transport Minister had something to say about this morning. Where's that dispute up to, Kenny?
Well, it's interesting because David Elliott, the New South Wales Transport Minister, was on Sky News this morning, and he said that a written offer has been issued to the rail, tram and bus union, and that's what they were waiting for. Now, this dispute is over this South Korean-made trains, which are mothballed. They've been sitting in sheds here and overseas for the past couple of years, costing the taxpayer $30 million a month, and the rail union has concerns over their safety. And they want alterations made to these trains in order to start operating them. And they were threatening industrial action today and tomorrow the big one being that they'll not operate foreign-made trains, which will reduce services by around 75% and cause massive delays. But the state government has said, yes, we'll do it at a cost of $264 million, and they got that last night. We are awaiting to hear from the union whether they're going to now call off the industrial action today and tomorrow. Here's a bit more of what the Transport Minister had to say on Sky News.
My view is that the union should be working with the government to make sure that the terms of the deed are acceptable to them, with the finer details going through a joint meeting this morning. But any attempt to continue industrial action after they have received this commitment from government is just, in my mind, proof positive that this is nothing more than a politically motivated attack.
Kenny, it seems that these protests are running into each other. So we've got the rail, tram and bus union striking, which we're seeing anecdotally that's left some teachers wanting to get to this protest in the middle of the CBD at train stations, are unable to get there on time, and perhaps it's hampered the climate protests as well. Somewhat ironic.
Yes, I mean, Blockade Australia, the climate activists that were causing trouble in the CBD and in the Sydney Harbour Tunnel on Monday, and they attempted to get that off the ground on Tuesday as well, but were completely overwhelmed by the police presence. That on Wednesday they said, we're going to take a break, even though they said they were going to conduct daily disruptive protest action in the city. They did say earlier in the week that they would be back for Thursday and Friday. There is plenty of police here in the CBD this morning because they're not taking any chances. I haven't personally seen any action from Blockade Australia, and on their Facebook and their Telegram chats where they communicate, they have been relatively quiet this morning as well. Whether they conduct action tomorrow is yet to be seen. But Laura, this is a very disruptive week here in Sydney and across the state.